Hi everyone, in this video I want to show you how to successfully complete lesson 1.01 for English 7A and also how to successfully access Newsela, or sometimes referred to as Newsela, which is an external learning tool found in some of your lessons in English 7A. So there are a few ways for you to find lesson 1.01. This is from the class plan, so I'm going to go to lesson 1.01. Once you're in lesson 1.01, it's very important that you go through each and every page. This is also the same for any lesson that you complete in English 7A and in any of your courses. There's always a get ready section, there's always sometimes a read section, a learn section, practice section, and an assessment section. It's very important that you start at the beginning of each lesson, click on the beginning page, and navigate through every part of your lesson. Now, once I've gone through the course introduction, I've read through all of this. Remember, you can also have the page read to you. You can click on this reading button on the top right corner of your page and have it read out loud to you. As you go through the pages, you'll see that in the course introduction, you can explore Newsela. For the purpose of this, I'm going to skip this, but I highly suggest you clicking here, and it'll bring you to Newsela to see how you can explore. You can explore your content, assignments. There are no assignments that will be graded from Newsela's site. So if you click on assignments or if you take any quizzes on Newsela, they will not be recorded in the gradebook. But you do have quizzes in your course for K-12 Private Academy that will reference the readings from Newsela. These will be graded, but the quizzes or assignments on Newsela's site will not be graded in the gradebook. I do recommend doing them to check your understanding and to see how well you're doing with the articles that you are supposed to read. But remember, they will not be recorded in your gradebook for K-12 Private Academy. All right, so I'm going to continue going through my course introduction. This is going to be a very long lesson because it's the first lesson of the course. So it's really going to walk you through every single part of our course. This is a very important lesson, which will probably take you extra time than usual. You usually can plan for about an hour for each day for English class, but on the first day, you might want to plan for a little longer. So again, go through the whole course introduction. Do not go through it as fast as I am, because you actually need to read through and understand how this Summit Language Arts 7 course will work. All right, once I've gone through the course introduction, I then will go to the unit introduction. So this is going to overview what Unit 1 will be about. Now when I say unit, sometimes it's referred to as a module, so unit and module are the same. Please make sure you listen to this audio by clicking on this play button up top, and again, go through each of the pages. Now we're finally in the beginning of lesson 1.01. So usually this is where you will start. But because this was the first lesson of the course, there were other pages to go through. So in this lesson, we're talking about writing therapy. How do you think reading and writing benefit your life? Do they allow us to think deeply and creatively while using our imagination? Could they increase our happiness or even bolster our health? In the following Newsela article, you will read about the benefits of reading and writing. All right, I highly recommend downloading student guides onto your computer or printing them off to use as you work through your lessons in English 7. It's also important as you're taking notes to take notes of these key words. These are words that you probably will be assessed on. You'll probably have to understand how to make an inference. You'll have to understand what a central idea is, and you'll have to be able to find evidence to support your answers. So this is a very helpful page, and this student guide has this information on there for you. I highly recommend clicking on this student guide, downloading this Word document onto your computer, and either printing it off, adding it to your Microsoft OneNote page, or using it as a Word document saved properly on your computer to reference as you work through your lessons. It's opening up here on my computer, but in the meantime, I'll continue on. There's always like a before reading activity for you to complete, which is very helpful. Please make sure you go through this. It talks about cognates, synonyms, and antonyms. There's 3 pages there for you to go through. There's a graphic organizer for you to complete. And then there's another vocabulary activity. These are words that you're going to find in the Newsela article. So it's important for you to understand what they mean and understand how to use context clues to determine the meaning of words. Now here we are on our read section of our lesson. Now, if at any point during your lesson you want to navigate to go back, click on these 3 lines on the top left corner. You can go back to the Get Ready section. You can preview to see how much you have left of this lesson. So that's a helpful tool. Again, that's the 3 lines on the left-hand corner to see where you are in your lesson. So when I get to this lesson, I'm going to now click on Read It on Newsela. This is an article that you need to read for this lesson. It's also going to be a required reading for the next lesson. And if I scroll down, you'll see that this is an assignment, but if I scroll down, I can click on the article to read. Go ahead and click on this article by clicking on the box. Now you are reading the article that's assigned for lesson 1.01. You could read it aloud. I wouldn't recommend changing the Lexile level over here on the right. Leave it how it is. All right, now I'm going to go ahead and read through this article by Dallas Morning News, adapted by the Newsela staff. All right, so I'm reading through this article, this whole article. As I'm reading, I'm taking notes on my student guide or my other notes for English 7. I'm looking for central ideas. What is this article saying? I'm summarizing. I'm picking out any words that I might need to look up. I'm actively reading through this article about the benefits of reading and writing. Now again, you could take the quiz at the end of this article, but remember this quiz will not be recorded in the gradebook for K-12 Private Academy, but it's good practice. After I'm done reading this article, I'm going to navigate back to my K-12 Private Academy English Language Arts course up here on my tab. I've read this article and now I'm ready to continue into my lesson. I'm going to click on the arrow on the top right corner to go to the next activity. Now I'm going to check my reading of the article I just read. It's very beneficial to go through these questions because these are similar questions to what you'll see on your quiz at the end of lesson 1.02, which will quiz you on this article. So you can check your answer here. Make sure if you get the wrong answer, it will give you an opportunity to redo. This is not going to be recorded in the gradebook. This is a practice quiz. All right, now we're looking at a closer look. It's very important to pay special attention to this page because these pages will help you on your quiz. You will be asked questions like, what evidence does the title supply about the subject line? So you would want to know that. You would also want to know what are implied ideas from this article, which means that these are not directly stated in the text, but you can infer or imply them based off of textual evidence. And what are some stated ideas? It's very important for you to go through these pages and really understand how to make inferences based on evidence. You will have to do this on your 1.02 quiz and on your unit assessment at the end of Unit 1. So be sure you go through these pages. Be sure you practice by doing the Try It, Find, and Cite Evidence practice page. Go through these lesson practices. And then you will participate in a discussion, which does not really have anything to do with this article, so to say, but you can most definitely cite this article in your discussion. Once you go through, this is your first discussion in English 7. There will be one discussion in each unit. They're worth 20 points. It's important that you post a response and reply meaningfully to at least 2 peers' responses. Go through these pages here. Familiarize yourself with how to do an effective discussion, and then it will take you to the discussion page. You can find the discussion by clicking on this hyperlink here, 1.01 discussion getting started. And then it will take you to the discussion forum. You can scroll down. You can find Mrs. Alexander's example post. I highly recommend clicking on this More button to see what you should be using as an example. Your first thread response should be 1 to 3 paragraphs, just like mine. It would be helpful if you even had titles for each of your sections, because you'll notice up here you are supposed to introduce yourself, tell us where you live, tell us what you like to do outside of school, anything else we should know. How long have you been at K-12 Private Academy? Then you're going to explain the importance of belonging to a community. Why is it important? And then propose at least 2 discussion ground rules that will help build our community atmosphere for our class. After you've made your own post, and I'll show you how to do that in a second, you will respond to 2 classmates' posts. As always, I tell all of my students to make sure you review the rubric for each assignment to understand how you will be graded. If I click on this, the rubric will pop up on a Word document, and I can see how Mrs. Alexander will grade my assignment. All right, I've reviewed the rubric, I have my student guide, I understand what I'm supposed to write, now I'm ready to write. I've reviewed Mrs. Alexander's example post, so I'm going to click Start a New Thread, this blue button right here. Once I click Start a New Thread, I can title it, and then I can type my response here. The other thing I recommend students doing is opening up a Word document and actually typing your discussion in the new document. Now, why do you think I am suggesting this? Because in Microsoft Word, it catches grammatical errors like this that you can fix. Not all the time will it catch those errors in your discussion box. So if you want to type your discussion in a Word document, you can save this on your computer as 1.01 discussion. You can type your response here, and then you could copy, copying this, right click, copy, and then go ahead and paste it by right clicking and pasting into this box. It's up to you if you'd like to do this, but I highly suggest it. You could subscribe to this thread, which means you'll get notifications anytime someone maybe replies to your response or there's a new post, and then you can go ahead and post. I'm not going to post it because I already have a post. So I have my post. Now I need to reply to 2 peers' posts. So I can scroll down and read some posts that I'd like to respond to. So I would think I would like to read Coco's response, and now I would like to reply. So I'm going to go ahead and click on Coco's response. Once I'm in here, I can now reply. I can click Reply to Thread. Now remember, you could write this in your Microsoft Word document, or you could write it right here. Remember, your replies should be at least 3 sentences in length. Make sure you ask questions, make connections, and reply to your peers' posts. Once I'm done with my reply, I can go ahead and click this blue button and post. I'm all finished with my discussion, so I'm going to go back up here to my lesson, and I'm going to go back to the review section. I'm going to finish up the lesson. Again, by clicking on those 3 dots, I can go back to my lesson and make sure I've done my whole lesson. So now I can reflect on what I've learned today. I can understand that in this lesson I used reading strategies to help me understand health benefits of reading and writing are not just for patients. I also answered comprehension questions, I analyzed the text, and cited evidence to support my analysis. I drew inferences from the text, and I participated in the Getting Started discussion. Now, congratulations, I finished this lesson. I can click the I'm done.